We're now joined in the interview room by the winning connections of Secret Circle. Secret Circle, incidentally, tied for the second lowest payoff by a Breeders' Cup winner. Secret Circle went off at 2-5, paid $280. The record was Meadows Star, who paid $240 in the 1990 Juvenile Fillies. From left to right, winning trainer Bob Baffert, Breeders' Cup win number 8 for Bob. And next to Bob is Paul Weitman. And next to Paul is Karl Watson, and on the far right, Mike Pegram. Certainly not their first Breeders' Cup winner either. Mike with Midnight Loot, and the three gentlemen with the Silver Bullet Day, I should say, and the three of them shared the fun with Midnight Loot, who won the Breeders' Cup Sprint twice. Congratulations to all of you. Bob, obviously we don't have Rafael Bejarano with us because he's riding in the next race, but what did he tell you about that last furlong where it started to get maybe a little more exciting than people expected?
Well, I mean, he said the 4-horse was just pushing and chirping the whole way, and he was trying to keep him off of him, but the horse was actually, as quick as he went, he was actually traveling nicely. He looked like he wasn't going that fast, and I saw those fractions, and he said the track, when he got out the lead by himself, he started was drifting all over on him, looking for company. He's still a young horse, and he's green, but he's just extremely gifted and talented, and I think it's a kind of horse that eventually we're going to try to stretch him out. I think that, we've always thought he has that raw speed, but I think having Drill, come along at the same time, we figured, we'll let him catch up. And of the two, it's just like, you've got your ace and you got your closer. And so, hopefully down the road, things will change. But, I mean, it's just really exciting to be able to win a Breeders' Cup race because they're so hard to win, especially when you have the heavy favorite. Like last time we had looking at Lucky and, we just had the worst luck in the world. And so, I'm just happy for my team here. They just have a good time and they get a lot of luck and they really enjoy the sport. And so I'm happy for them and the horse and also Martin Garcia plays a huge part on getting all these horses ready, my jockey. And unfortunately, he didn't get the mount because Rafael just happened to pick up the mount. I don't know what happened there, but he's a kind of horse that he's never shows you that in the mornings. And when he won the first time out, I was like blown away by what he did, and I was blown away what he did the second time. So he's one of these horses that just shows you so much more in the afternoons.
And I want to remind folks in the press box they can ask a question directly by going to Angie right in the middle of the room. Gentlemen, you own the winner of the first ever Sentient Jet Breeders' Cup Juvenile Sprint. Congratulations. Bob said might think about stretching out next year. Did you get nervous down the lane, and what was going through your mind when it looked like there was a shot that Shamouz was coming hard and might make it close?
Well, he gave us a little thrill, but on the other hand, he was well in hand, and the horse just ran good. I can remember calling Bob when they made the announcement that they were going to have this race, and I said, "Man, I hope you bought one of these for us." I said, "That's it. That ought to be named the Bob Baffert Sprint, as good as he's always been with the 2-year-old." So it was a good day.
And Paul and Karl, as we noted earlier, you've had several moments of Breeders' Cup success. And while $165,000 certainly isn't chump change to spend on a young horse, it's certainly not the vast sums that you see some spend on other horses. Can you comment on Bob and his eye for a horse that it doesn't necessarily catch everybody's eye?
Bobby's got us so spoiled. I mean, we are so blessed. The amount of horses we've had, the money that we put in the game to have the success we've had, it's unbelievable. He set the bar pretty high. It may get tough on him one of these days.
Paul?
Yeah, same thing here. We just let him go, and he calls and said, "Hey, I bought you a horse," and we try to we give him some freedom, and he just time after time, year after year, just does a great job for us, and he's the best at it, I think.
Okay, we'll throw it open to questions in here and in the press box. If anybody has any, we have a handheld mic in the back. If anybody would like to ask a question, Tom, if you'd like to just go grab it, and then everybody will be able to hear you. Go ahead, Tom.
This question is for trainer Bob Baffert. Did you get the impression he was beginning to tire at the end? And given the fact he seems too brilliant, he gets out of the gate so quick, he obeys every command that Bejarano gives him, you think stretching him out, what kind of special strategy do you need to employ in the coming months?
Well, I mean, he's the kind of horse that I remember when we were getting him ready. You know, he's worked off of horses, behind horses, but when you start stretching horses out, you know, he'll go as fast as the pace is. And so if the pace would have been, first quarter would have gone in 22 or 23, he would have been in 23. So he's not speed crazy. He can sit off a horse, but if a horse is out there flying, then he's going to be right there with him.
Phil?
Sorry, Bob, I just want to ask you, congratulations, first of all. But what about Chantal Sutherland in the Classic? I meant to ask you that at your barn the other day. I forgot to ask the question. Can you just talk about Chantal, because Havre de Grace is getting so much attention. But if Chantal could win it, I mean, that would be significant for her.
Well, it'd be significant for all the parties involved, you know. And so, you know, Chantal, I don't really, you know, I don't think of her, you know, I just think of her as a very good jockey. I'm not thinking the female part of it all. She's a competitor. She's a fierce competitor. If I didn't think she was a good rider, I wouldn't have her on the horse. And, you know, it's not a publicity stunt or anything. She fits the horse really well. She gets a lot of run out of the horse. And, she's, you know, I had Martine. I tried different jockeys. She seems to win on the horse. So once you find a good fit, you stick with it.
Bob, how'd you come to buy this horse? I mean, what did you like about him when you saw him at the sale?
You know what? It was I have a lot of help with Donato Lanni. He goes in there and we look at everything, and we have a list, and then we go through the list and we just chop the list up, and then we start shooting from the hip, you know, from the back. So you got to cover all your bases. You know, we try to see every horse we can, but you can't see them all. But you know, you narrow it down to there's a top tier, middle tier, then you're looking for horses that just, you know, have that athletic look to them. And so, you know, sometimes I've caught myself being a sort of a sire snob, and I've missed some really good horses. And so Jill, my wife, always every time I say, you know what, I was going to buy that horse, but he's by so-and-so, the sire. And I keep forgetting, Mike and I, we've made a lot of sires, you know, and they all have one. You know, the one thing about it, doesn't matter, you know, how bad of luck they're going. And so, you know, Eddieton at the time, he's been, you know, pretty cool. So, but he still brought a lot of money, you know. And so I thought we were going to get him for like $50,000, because that's what they had a $49,000 reserve on him. So I really thought he was going to cost 50, and he just kept going. And I remember he got up to 125, and Donato said, "Boy, that's a lot of money." I said, "Yeah, it's a lot of money for a horse that can't run." So it's just one of those things, you know. We were waiting all afternoon. We can't stop now. We got to buy him, you know. And we'll find a buyer for him, you know. So, but that's what I do. You know, I buy a horse and make a call and call the boys, and I just texted them, "You guys just bought one," you know. So, and they just always go like, "Great, more bullets." That's what Karl, he always sends back, more bullets, you know. So, you know, it's fun when you have a free rein like that. If you go in with scared money, it's just tough. I remember when I first started out, I was scared and I was nervous. Matter of fact, when these two were together, you know, I'd go in there and, you know, I had a little budget and stuff. It was tough. I, you know, was afraid to make a mistake. And you're going to make mistakes. Believe me, I bought plenty for them that you never heard of. You know, they were so slow they didn't get names. But I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, they got hurt or something. But it's just, you need a lot of luck. You know, you buy the horse, you buy what you like, and then they're great to train for, because, you know, they don't get involved. They just want, hey, you know, they get excited. I mean, they get involved, like, what's our next step? Well, I think I might go here, and then Mike will tell him he doesn't know where he's going, which is true. But I mean, it's like, I really don't know what I'm going to do until, you know, like Mike's always told me, you know, his dad used to tell him, don't make a decision until you have to. And you have to do that in this business, because you just never know what might happen.
Bob, could you elaborate on stretching Secret Circle out and what races you might be thinking about for?
Well, there goes right there. I don't know. You know, we were actually thinking of maybe running this horse, skipping this race and running him in the Delta Downs Jackpot. You know, we discussed that. and Mike made the call to me, and I thought, you know what, he's just doing so well right now. Let's, here the Breeders' Cup is there, and there's nothing more exciting than win a Breeders' Cup race. It's a thrilling experience, and they're hard to win. And so I said, let's get by this. We know he's fast. Let's find out. And down the road, we'll give him his chance. And but I really don't know where I would stretch him out.
Will he run again this year, or are you done? Are you going to turn him out for a while?
No, I don't know. If he, if he were to run again, there's always the race at Hollywood Park, the cash call futurity and stuff. So I don't know. Right now, we're just going to enjoy the moment and enjoy the horse. And I've got so many other horses I have to worry about today. I've got a lot on my plate today. But I'm just glad, after the first horse got scratched, sat down the gate, I was like, I hope this is not the way my weekend's going to start. But the only positive thing about that whole situation in the first race that I wasn't 0 for 1 yet. I was just starting over. So I just hope it just keeps up. And the thing is about it that these horses, I was a little bit nervous because this horse just ran off the plane. So I took a gamble, got them all ready at Santa Anita. Like I said, without Martin Garcia, he's the one that gets these horses ready, and he does a fantastic job.
How well equipped is this horse from a breeding standpoint to be stretched out and go the Kentucky Derby distance? Okay. How, from a breeding standpoint, how well equipped is this horse to go the Kentucky Derby distance?
Well, the pedigree is there. He's by Eddington, who ran in the Belmont and could run all day unbridled, and the mother's Dixieland Band. That's pedigree. He's a fast horse. He looks like a fast horse. So. You don't know, you really don't know until you try him 2 turns. So until he goes 2 turns, you really don't know. Your hope, but he can't do it going 20-4, but we'll slow him down.
Getting back to the sale, were there any specific attributes you liked about him, or just an overall impression?
I can't tell you that information, Steve.
Yes, you can.
I can't tell you that
Sure
information.
you can.
It's just something, it costs millions and millions of dollars. I've gone through the ring to find out those secrets.
Okay, can I make it up then?
You would just make it up.
Okay.
It wasn't pedigree.
All right, we'll let Steve get started on his fabricated story. And in the meantime, we'll once again say congratulations to Bob Baffert, Paul Weitman, Karl Watson, and Mike Pegram, the first ever winner of the Sentient Jet Breeders' Cup Juvenile Sprint with Secret Circle. Congratulations.